this is when I started. First semester, I started getting involved with, mecha, a lot of things that were, going on at that time. I, like I said, I was curious because you would walk through campus and it was about the black people, and then Chicanos, had Maya at that time, and they started asking us to go to meetings, and we started going. We started listening and volunteering, but of course we were like the nice, quiet, very conservative young ladies, and so we were the ones, that ended up taking the notes. Oh, can you make the calls? Yes, we can make the calls. So because we were playing, what was considered our roles. Um, but at the same time, this is when we started noticing a lot of the BS that was going on. Because you always had, guys trying to hit you up, especially like the older guys. And we were like, I mean, it was, I think, the second year, 69, that I was at State, we had the camp program, we had the Pinto program. You had all these, all these men that had come out of prison, and they were like older than us. I mean, some of these guys were 25, they were 30. And these, some of the guys that we were being exposed to that were involved with mecha or what have you. And then you had the camp program, then you had the HEP program. The HEP program was the high school equivalency program, and what they did was they brought in, people that had dropped out of school, put them in the college, had them finish their high school, and transitioned them into the college. So, you talk about a big mix of people that we were all coming in from very different, walks of life. I mean, I felt it was funny because I could spot a Chicana that came from LA in 1 minute. She had, she had the shoes, she had the dress, she had, you know, and at our meetings, we used to have a lot of, not competition, but, the guys would salivate when they see these women, right? And we would call them on it, and they go, oh, just because you guys are jealous or whatever, because we were farm workers. I mean, we were very poor. We couldn't afford what they could afford. Maybe in LA, in the garment district, you can have discounts or whatever, but we didn't even go over there. So we dressed in our Levi's, our Levi shirt, and that's how we lived. That's how we lived. Uh, but yet the women from LA, they were very different. They were very different. I mean, they dyed their hair, they had the false eyelashes. I mean, when they came to school, you thought they were going to the prom or they were going to the dance or whatever. And like I said, it wasn't about jealousy, but just the differences were so, obvious. You couldn't help it. And so at meetings and things like that, those were some of the things that those politics, I think, used to come into the discussions without people even realizing it, because sometimes, like, the woman that was going to go speak in front of everybody that got elected by the group was the one that had the real tight pants and looked very cutesy and all that. But at that time we couldn't put our finger on it. We couldn't really understand what was going on.